What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, finally got some news here revolving around special teams production. Hey, I was able to see a few highlights, and I got a feel for who the Eagles are looking at for the gunner position. Okay, gunner position, guys, being the guy who's tasked with getting downfield and making those tackles. All right, y'all, stay tuned. Let's talk about this. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Stephen Hightower with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching us. Once again, guys, my name is Stephen Hightower, and this is Gate City Sports Channel. I just realized I'm wearing a little bit of green, guys, so I might look like a little bit of a ghost here. I apologize. All right, Joe. Today's topic. Hey, guys, this might be a shorter one, but I want to talk about this topic because it's important. Listen, I told you guys, I saw who the Eagles were planning to do a little bit with kick returning and punt returning, right? Jalen Reagor is going to play a role in punt returns. I don't know that we're so solidified yet in kick returner, but we got some interesting options back there fielding the kick returner positions. You know, I've seen guys from Quez Watkins taking snaps back there to Adrian Killins, Corey Clement. We got some interesting things going on with kick returner. Punt returner, the guys I saw primarily handling the punt returning responsibilities in these drills so far have been Reagor mostly. Greg Ward Jr. has been back there handling it, and they've had D-Jax back there a little bit. They probably are mixing in a handful of guys here and there, too, that we're just not seeing as much, but that's what it looks like in terms of that type of production, guys. So that leads us to the bigger question, the question I had, which is, what do we do about gunner? Because that's a position you need to have good production from. I mean, it's as important as a kick returner or a punt returner. I mean, it's all about changing your fate of field position. The field position you're going to defend, the field position, because obviously you got the other side, the blocking, the guy who's blocking your gunners, the gunners going downfield. So some important roles here, guys. So I told you guys, we all knew Mac Hollins made his entire reputation staked upon being a gunner on special teams play. He was really good at it, okay? When we finally had enough of Mac Hollins, we were like, okay, this relationship is not going to work out. This is torturous. We got to move on here. We ended up going out and getting Rudy Ford. I believe Rudy Ford came in from Arizona. And Rudy Ford is a standout special teams player. He's a really, really good gunner. Part of the reason why I tell people to caution themselves about when we make these roster projections, always keep in mind special teams production, because dudes will make this roster based upon their special teams play, especially if they're really deep roster guys, because a lot of deep roster guys won't really contribute to the team unless they're special teams producers. Alex Singleton's one of these guys you got to keep an eye on because he's a really good special teams player. Rudy Ford is a really good special teams player. You got to keep your eyes on guys like that. They're by no means are these guys locked to make the football team, but you always have to keep an eye on that kind of thing because it can give these guys who probably in an outright competition may not have made it an opportunity to slip onto the roster. As I look at gunners outside of Rudy Ford, Rudy Ford is by far, I think, the best gunner out there that we have on this team right now. The two guys that were getting reps excite me. They're the young guys. They're our young receivers. John Hightower was out there getting reps as a gunner today. And I think that's an interesting one because Hightower's got a little bit of length to him, and he's a really fluid mover. So I can see it. He's not super duper fast. He's fast, but he's not like ridiculously fast. But he's got some foot speed to him, and he's like a really fluid mover. So he gets downfield faster than people think because of that long legs that he can just kind of gallop in on. I'll show you a little bit of him taking some reps and some snaps from the gunner position.
Knows his way around. There's no surprise there with Greg Ward. JJ
In return, I'm pretty excited to say, I saw Quez Watkins out there as a gunner. Quez Watkins, super fast. This is a guy that he's got speed, and Quez Watkins can really, really get down the football field. I mean, this is a very fast player. Some of you might be saying, like, hey, why are you excited about this? Because, man, if you're going to be on the back end of this roster as a receiver, you're going to have to produce some way. And being a gunner, being a kick returner, a punt returner, like, that's going to give you an opportunity to contribute to the football team. And also, as the season goes on, work your way into a more, dynamic and more important piece of the offense. So for guys like John Hightower and Quez Watkins, I think this is incredibly important, guys. And I almost forgot here. Let me show you a clip of Quez Watkins working as a gunner himself.
During the regular season, I think we've seen a guy who moves a little bit better. He's made some.
So to me, this is a big step forward, guys. This is what we want to see from these young guys. We want to see these young guys out here getting these very vital and important snaps, because that's just going to shore up their space on this roster, okay? Highly important, guys. Highly important. You got Reagor back there returning punts. You got Watkins and Hightower working out as gunners. You got Watkins working out as a kick returner and, as well. Hightower definitely has experience at least being a kick returner. I don't know how much work he's getting there, but I definitely know that he has done it in the past. So, I mean, we've definitely got some guys out here. Adrian Killins, back into the roster guys, a kick returner, can also return punts. I mean, we got guys that can be a back end in the end roster who can add a lot of, production to the special teams unit and impact a football game with very limited snaps, hopefully.
Position as we see Marcus Green there returning punts and the Eagles working on special teams.
It's important, guys. I mean, this is when things come together, guys. This is the assembling of the football team. When a lot of people ask me how I make my 53-man, roster projections, I'm going to be real with you. I really pay attention to special teams, because the special teams will tell you something. You got two guys that, one guy could be better than the other one, but there's not a lot of separation in their play. But one guy is a way better, even if he's the worst of the two, but he's a way better special teams player. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, he's going to make the roster, and the other guy's not. So I really pay attention to certain guys when it comes down to, their production, what they're doing on these special teams reps when they're competing for the back end of these roster positions. Because to me, it's crazy important there, guys. I mean, it really is probably 90% of what will hold you onto the roster, to be quite honest about it. I like what I saw out there today, guys. Some interesting things that were, on the screen from the special teams perspective. The Eagles seem to be really being genuine and true. I think that they were really self-reflectant on the season and realized how much field position. Not only was it lack of explosive plays that caused us to have to drive the field and do these ball-controlled type, offenses, but also the fact that we couldn't really flip the field. We couldn't flip our fortunes. Also hurt us and made us, we weren't forcing turnovers, right? We weren't gaining, field position from special teams play. I think the Eagles assessed the season in its entirety and looked at things like that, guys. And now we're slowly starting to see them implement these plans of action, which I love what I'm seeing. I think it's an incredibly smart thing to do. If I was in the front office and I was analyzing the Eagles season, I think I would have done a lot of same things they did. I would have added team speed and explosion. I would have definitely worked on trying to figure out how to get better special teams players in here on the back end of that roster. And I would have worked on getting guys who can potentially turn the ball over and get us a better pass rush with better coverage. I mean, from my perspective, everything I'm seeing the Eagles do, I'm in agreement with it. I think that we're addressing a lot of the major needs of the team. Still some concerns here, guys. When we go to the long-term projections 3-4 years from now, we've got to get some things figured out with the salary cap and some of these salaries with some of these players. Got a lot of aging veterans that, unfortunately, hard decisions will be made following the season. But, hey, look, things are coming around. Things are looking good. I like where we're heading with this stuff, guys. All right, y'all. I'm going to jump off here. I don't want to take too much of your time today. Y'all leave me your thoughts below. What do you guys think about the gunner position? What do y'all think about, kick returner, punt returner? I want to make sure I'm spending some time on special teams because, last year, I don't really think that I put forth as much effort and as much content as I should have when it came to special teams. So make sure I'm putting in a few videos here and there for that. All right, y'all. Leave your thoughts down below. Tell me what you think. And you know how we end these videos. We do a little E-A-G-L-E-S. All right, y'all. Let's go, Eagles.